Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you some additional information or scientific information about advancements in the concept of breathing air, light, or understanding how we can actually create more energy through light and not through physical nutrition. Team at the University of Rochester modified some type of a worm that has a very long scientific name. So their mitochondria, which is the biological cell's power plant, can harvest light to produce more energy. The modified worms were more energetic and aged 30 to 40% more slowly, just like the studies they have on caloric restriction. Now, this type of work is an advanced form of optogenetics, which is the process of modifying cells so they respond better to light. And in this case, they created more energy. This study found that simply boosting metabolism using light-powered mitochondria gave the worms longer and healthier lives. The scientists also believe this work sheds more light on diseases of aging, which are often associated with mitochondrial decline. That alone tells us that decreased ATP production capacity is a cause, not just a consequence, of age-related decline. In other words, the more you eat, the more you age. This doesn't mean that going 100% on light, but of course it's more like having a hybrid engine, just like what we do or what we teach. How does this connect with breatharianism? The common or most known type of breatharianism is a very deep cut into the daily caloric intake, while allowing the consciousness and the body to get accustomed to it. This is sort of like adapting your body to having a hybrid engine that uses energy more than it does fuel. Let me give you a few more examples. The Chinese medicine, they work with the body's natural energetic pathways. They're called meridians and chakras, and you've probably heard about them. Blockages can then be removed to create healing. Blockages that are there at times because of the quality and quantity of the food that we eat in the West, which of course we know is not that good for us. So, another example, energy and matter have been linked in physics as being able to transform one to the other. So, light can create matter and matter can create light. And beyond that, the body has many secrets. DNA is one of those secrets. Adaptation that occurs, it only occurs when the mind accepts it. So when a person has a belief, there are a lot of reports, for example, of spontaneous healing and other miracle-like phenomenons that occur when the person believes or when they really need to do something at that point, or they have a reason to live. That belief can come in many forms. Some of them are religious, some of them are because people have a strong will and a strong intention. All of these things impact our DNA and they change us over a course of a long period of time. Now, what does that mean for us? There's plenty of evidence that says that human beings can survive on very little. Even if every person would cut 50% of what they eat today, they will not only survive, but they will probably flourish as well. I'm not talking about people who have nothing. I'm not talking about people who are already on minimum of minimum and coming from a perspective of negativity and war and starvation and stuff like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that people think that what they eat is creating the energy in their body, and it's not true. It's creating part of the energy in their body. But what if I could tell you that people like me that only take 20% of what they used to take before our initiation, and we live longer, we're healthier, we have the same amount of energy as we had years and years ago, we sleep less, we have clarity. Some of us develop different capabilities as well. For example, some of us are becoming clairvoyant, some of us are becoming more immune to cold and to heat. Now, this type of process is not easy for everyone, and it's definitely not for everyone in the Western world. But if you're capable of reaching that level, you're going to find that the human experience for you becomes deeper and more profound. Now, there's another example I can tell you that is less scientific and more on the verge of half spiritual. There's 7 different levels of consciousnesses on planet Earth right now. The first level is what we call the elements, and the highest vibration of that level are the crystals. That's why people feel more close to crystals, we look at them with wonder, and they're not just like a regular rock. And then the second level is actually the plants. And again, you have the lowest level, and then you have the highest level. The highest level of the plants are the fruit-bearing trees, which attract insects, animals, which actually give and provide to nature those fruits, those amazing fruits, you can say. Now notice that the first level exists, has matter. The second level already has some sort of breathing that they do with air and with carbon dioxide. And then the third level is the animals, and in the end of the third level you have the animals that are more connected to human beings, which are cats and dogs and horses and bunnies that have a little bit more of the game of human beings of free will. So where am I going with this? What I'm saying is that each level relies on the first level, and it's a different type of game that they're playing. And the same thing with DNA. The most developed DNA is that of mammals and human beings. But eventually, we are supposed to be able to do and be everything that a tree can be. It doesn't matter that the system is a little bit different. What matters is that DNA connects to the consciousness and the will and the intention. And then the body changes according. Now the body is in space and time, and it takes a little bit more time for the body to change and adjust. But the consciousness can make the leap much faster. And this is what I see when I teach. I see that a lot of people they come very mentally prepared, but the body still needs the time, so we need to let him have that time. And for those of you that are not planning to investigate in this direction, all I can tell you is that try to eat less. Even cut 1 or 2 meals a day, you will see that after a week or two, your life is changing, and the only challenge here is to do this without society harassing you about the change. You will lose some weight, you will be more fit, you will have more clarity, you will sleep less, you'll be more focused. There will be so many advantages for this type of change in your life. Trust me, I've seen it in hundreds of people that I've taught and mentored to go through this process. Again, the challenge for you will be social. It won't be physical. There are some types of food that you can just let them go. You don't really need them anymore, dude. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to join one of my life-changing workshops, check out my schedule at raymaor.com. I have an event every year in Spain and every year in the United States as well.